Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, gold, pearls, social capital. All these things are currency in the world, and yet rarely are they tendered to musicians.
You just have to swallow that pill.
In this part of Atop of a Song, we really won't talk about that. Instead, we'll explore the production of Fiverr and the Atlantic School of Spontaneous Compositions, Paid in Pride. Atop of a Song.
Paid in Pride is a song written from the perspective of a trophy wife who is working the heteropatriarchy to her advantage. The introduction of Paid in Pride is the end of Death is Only a Dream. The songs on the album are grouped in threes and ones, and so that transition between the two songs sounds totally organic because it was played that way.
I feel like there wasn't too much in-depth thought about it. It was just a playfulness to bring the song, like kick it in.
I just think that that's like a really great texture.
I wanted my vocal to sound menacing. I wanted it to feel too close.
In this instance, we used a vintage AKG 414 with a C12 capsule. The owner of the studio actually referred to me as the George Jones microphone. I guess that they used it on his vocal a lot. But in order to really achieve that sort of menacing, close sound that Simone was after, we ended up hitting the tape really hard, which gives you that extra bit of harmonic saturation.
The conspiratorial tone of this slow-release hit follows a clear narrative arc.
So you have this character who begins in command of her situation. She understands her position in resistance to the dominant order, and then she moves into this moment of total paranoia. And when she emerges, she starts to grapple and recognize herself as complicit within the imperial world order. And I think that's a train of thought that many people, women and non-binary people in North America, who are trying to figure out where our power lies, what table we should be sitting at, if any, often go through, right? I guess this isn't like very clear from the lyrics, but I always pictured her delivering these words from the back of a limo, and she's talking to the driver.
To achieve the literal feeling of being in a limousine, Schmidt set Nick Dourado up with his sax on the side of Highway 10, just outside Brossard.
We worked with a great limousine company called Charles Limousine. I tried a few different microphones. We tried a pair of Sheps, and we went to a vintage pair of Neumann KM84s. That didn't really work out quite as we planned. So we ended up with a Sennheiser shotgun mic. I believe it was a MHE600 or something like that. It took about 3 days.
After 36 hours straight of troubleshooting the impact of the wind from the window on the sound, the desired sound was achieved. Schmidt describes working with architect Katie Lee in order to achieve the sound of overwhelming paranoia in the bridge of Paid in Pride.
I guess in contrast to the calmness of the verses, it was important to amplify the tension of the bridge. You know, when you're having an anxiety attack and you're ruminating and there are voices coming from all different parts of your brain. I mapped out the human brain onto a floor plan of the studio, and I put mics in all the different places where voice might be coming from, and then I made Jeremy sing all of his parts from each position.
Costello discusses how he uses his golden voice to cope with the sometimes frustrating methods used in literal production.
To be able to sing a song that's almost directly stabbing at those moments of frustration, it's really helpful, honestly. It allows some of that to be relieved, like a steam valve.
Specifically on the bridge in this song, where we were stacking Jeremy's vocals and all those layers, we were doing, between 7 and 10 takes at each location. And so the sentiment of the lyric really started to hit me. You know, he in this case being the listener, you think he can tell.
Schmidt cites Neil Young's Trans as a main influence on Paid in Pride.
I don't think that I would have felt bold enough to use a vocoder, except for the fact that prior to these sessions, I was hitting Computer Cowboy super hard.
We can't actually look up to all our musical influences, and we can't all be transformed, but at least we can be honest about that. After the break, we'll be looking at Fiverr and the Atlantic School of Spontaneous Composition's upcoming single, June Like a Bug, which actually you can listen to right now, given that the entire record is out, streaming on all platforms.